Oh yeah, you're
Hello,
right.
everybody. Hello,
Yeah.
we are live.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi,
Live.
Hi. I'm trying to highlight.
Staying
I like the thing I said earlier where I was like, "Hi, I'm back." You're like, "Hi, back on Moon," and I was like, trying to find a decent dad-esque reply, and I just said, "Oh shit, I forgot to get milk."
I mean, you could have done a Dark Side of the
In
Moon
context,
joke.
in context, I had told him that we were gonna get together and start writing as soon as I got back from getting groceries. So I literally had just gone to the grocery store. So the joke seemed in context, and also the way I delivered it, you might have thought I was being sincere that I fucking forgot to pick up milk.
I did, because I was sitting there like, oh man, I guess you gotta go back.
No, I was making the joke.
No.
I got ice cream, close enough. Close enough. You know, it's
Nice.
frozen
What flavor?
milk.
I wish I had ice cream.
That does sound
Does
pretty
it
good.
matter? It's ice cream.
Yes.
It's not your mouth it's going in, so it's none of your fucking business.
But if it's not vanilla, then it's not. Well, I guess actually no. The better question would be like, what is it? Whole milk, skim milk, like 1%? What are we talking here?
Of ice cream?
Of yes, of milk, but yes.
Mike. You know what? What I decide to put in my body is my fucking business. No, I had to get I had to go to the grocery store and get like some gelatin, some pudding, and some ice cream to prep because well, at the beginning of next month, I'm gonna probably be going to get my wisdom teeth removed.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. I'm in a lot of pain right now because of one of my wisdom
Oh, is
teeth.
it touching roots?
I don't know if it's touching roots, but like I've got swollen gums and it's a little loose and it hurts all the
Gotcha.
freaking time. So
Okay.
like it is I forget what it's called when it does that, but it's like, you know, it's also causing problems for my other teeth. One of my wisdom teeth has already destroyed the tooth in front of it, and it's kind of like broken down and slowly like rotted away. And I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's it's time.
So I've got
I
a
will
gap
actually
tooth,
say-
and that's on one side. The other side, the side that's actually hurting, is the opposite side from that. It's no fun, no bueno. Also, hey,
I will say, as someone who's had all their wisdom teeth removed just in one sitting, luckily I only had 3, so there might be a chance of a 4th, but I'm pretty sure they already.
I think
no, you don't have a 4th.
Most people have 4, but
I think
some
my
people get them
wisdom
taken
teeth.
all at the same time.
I think
We'll
my
see.
wisdom teeth on the lower part are fine. No issues whatsoever. It's the upper wisdom teeth that are causing me like freaking problems.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I will say though, one thing that my mom had me do when I had my wisdom teeth removed is place tea bags against them. I think it was for either half an hour or a full hour each. I want to say it's like a half an hour because I remember when I did it, I watched the first Avengers movie for the first time, and I think by the end of it, and by placing them on all the spots, they were not bleeding to the point where I didn't need to get a whole bunch of additional gauze.
So
Times. It was
okay,
just
so
like,
so my other thing here, after it
so I would recommend getting tea bags.
after it happens, right? After you get your wisdom teeth removed, I'm in no condition to drive, correct?
Usually
No,
no.
you want
not.
somebody. No, you want somebody
That's what
to
I
take
figured.
you.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna have to
absolutely
go.
want somebody to
I'm
take
gonna
you.
have to go to the VA
Gotcha.
hospital to get this done, most likely.
Yeah.
I mean,
either
there
you
are
would have to
places.
stay or
Well,
have somebody drive you.
I recently just found out that like the VA has a dental insurance thing. There's dental insurance that you can get through the VA.
Fascinating.
But I think the type of insurance that I would need is like the mid-tier one, which is almost like $40 a month in the insurance. And getting wisdom teeth removed is no joke. I mean,
No,
I'm hoping that's what's going to happen is that with this one wisdom tooth that's really being a bother, they could just pull it straight out because it's not like super crooked or anything. It's not it didn't grow in weird. It's formed that way over time, you know. And the wisdom tooth on the other side is kind of the same. It's straight up and down. It's not like in a weird. It didn't grow in a weird.
It's not
awkward
coming in
place.
at a weird angle.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have to go in and surgically remove it. I think they could just yank that motherfucker out of there. It's just
They probably had to cut it in pieces and then remove it gently.
That's
Yeah,
how
maybe.
They normally do it. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
are they
more
gonna
than likely,
numb
that's
me
what they're
up?
gonna have
Are
to
they gonna
do.
numb me up and put me to sleep
Yes.
before?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
100%
they
they
will.
will.
They should, and they better, because if you're,
Otherwise, you'd be safe to drive after.
yeah, but
Mhm.
even then, it's like,
I mean, so
The
long as
sounds
I
and
get
stuff.
numbed up. Oh no, I'm gonna
yeah,
be
you'll be
awake
numbed up
for
for
it.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be
You will not be
unnumbed
awake.
for that because they're
Oh,
gonna
no,
have to
no.
extract it by, you know,
No,
doing
no.
what they
I
have to
mean,
do.
are they
Yeah.
gonna knock me the frick out? Like I want to go to sleep.
Oh,
During
they'll
it.
knock you
Yes,
out.
yes, they
Yes.
will.
They're gonna knock
They-
you
Oh,
out.
good.
you will be under some high strength laughing gas.
Oh, that's
You will
beautiful.
be gone.
Dude,
When I had my
all
all
right.
4 mine
You are not
extracted,
gonna be in any condition to drive.
Do you guys remember
Yeah.
when I had to
Assume
get
that.
surgery on my shoulder because
yeah, I think
because of
so.
like
I don't remember.
because I had
Hell
like
no, I don't remember.
I had like bone spurs or whatever. I forget what it was.
Oh,
yeah,
like,
there was, but like I had to get surgery on my
Excuse me.
shoulder. I had to get
Mhm.
surgery on my shoulder, and like, so what they did was they rolled me out to get ready for the operation. They gave me some they gave me like a little bit of anesthesia, and then they gave me something to knock me out. They just put it in my IV, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm probably gonna. I was
that,
already
basically.
really tired. I was like, I need to. I need this. Please knock me the heck out. And like, not even a minute had gone by, and I was out. I woke up. I was back in my room. The surgery was all completely over, and like, I had a spaghetti arm.
Yeah,
I had
it'll be
but
much the
thing
same
is-
except with your mouth.
Yeah, it was.
so-
It was
thing
not. It
is-
was very disturbing how quick you wake up from it. How quick it feels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I woke up from it and like I was good. I wasn't loopy or lethargic or anything at all. I
Yeah.
was commenting on the situation being interesting. I was like, yeah, I woke up. This happened. Okay. And then we went and got Wendy's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I
That
had
sounds
not
like a good
eaten
day.
because I could not eat or drink before the surgery. So
Yeah, they
I
don't
was
let you do that.
starving, and I was like, "Fuck it, I want a baconator." You know?
I mean, you could maybe get
Yeah.
a Frosties after wisdom teeth. Probably
No.
shouldn't. But
How long?
No,
How long do
shouldn't
you?
eat
How
that.
long do you need to be eating like yogurt and stuff like that? Like how long
So-
it was
until?
like 2
It took
weeks?
me about 2 weeks to make a full recovery, but all I really ate was like Jello and mashed potatoes and like chicken
I had
soup.
soup. I like
So
Okay,
tomato
so
chicken
soup is
noodle.
good. So
yeah,
so
just
like
like something soft,
Don't use
nothing you
your
have
teeth.
to chew a lot. You just something you can slurp and just swallow.
okay, so not
So-
like Thai chicken curries kind of soup because the chicken chunks and stuff I couldn't eat that.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Now I've known people because I've known people that instead of doing weeks, they were just like days, and it was done. And I was like, oh, okay. They're like,
I
they
mean,
were back to
if you
eating.
do it one tooth at a time, you could probably like just bear in mind what side of your mouth it's on, and just
Mhm.
chew on the other side of the mouth. Maybe.
Right.
But if you're doing it all at once, which I'm assuming you're doing it one at a time, but if you're
I
doing it
may
all
be
once,
doing it one at a time because
yeah.
I mean I'm not getting all 4 pulled either.
Mhm.
I may just
I
be
did all
getting
at
this
once.
one pulled.
Yeah. No, same.
Like
Yeah, that was
again, my
interesting.
bottom wisdom teeth, absolutely fine, no problems whatsoever. All right,
Yeah.
they get
It's the top
they
two that are the
they
problem.
are happy. They are happy where they are, and everyone else, all the other teeth around, are very happy with how things are. Blah 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 blah.
Mm.
No, I'm probably gonna have to get the other tooth, on my right side, the one that's kind of rotted away, that's in front of my wisdom tooth. Probably had to get that pulled at some time and replaced.
Mm.
I mean, one of my
Yeah, that'll
front
be a different
teeth,
surgery.
half of it is artificial.
Mm.
Protein drinks,
So made out like composite or something.
lots of tomato soup and protein drinks.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably a good suggestion because I
Bro,
was
if nothing
very
else,
tired.
if nothing else, my guy, getting getting my wisdom teeth pulled is gonna help me with my weight loss.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, because you won't want to crunch or bite down on anything. You'll be very tired.
Yeah,
I think
be
the
eating
rule of thumb is
soups.
if you do the
Yeah.
top two
Soups
teeth,
and maybe
like
ramen.
just because of
Yeah.
the rotten and the pain, whatever.
Mhm.
I would just say just treat for for 2 weeks or whatever long they tell you to. Just pretend like all your teeth have been shattered.
It's not a bad way to do it.
So applesauce, baby food, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
things like
kinda.
that. Mashed potatoes.
Smoothies, you
Yeah.
know.
I'm gonna have to take vitamins just so I could get like the nutrients,
To
the
round
full
out
amount
your-
of nutrients. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
gotta be
also,
the
I don't
pill ones,
know.
probably shouldn't be the gummies.
You can put ice on your face too. I mean, when I got all 4 removed at once, and my face was pretty swollen, so my mom had me wear like 2 Ziploc bags full of like ice on both sides of my face.
Mm.
I
So
just remember.
No, I've seen
It
I've
helped.
seen that
I don't
stuff
remember
too. I
that
have
part.
seen that too. That's crazy.
Yeah. It
I
wasn't
do
like I was
remember-
miserable,
Also,
but I was just really
guys,
tired.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're wanting to know what the quote unquote role play for Subnautica is going to be, it's basically like every time we try to start a light novel episode and we're just talking about random shit, that's kind of where we're at.
It's
that's
basically
that's
gotta be
basically
it.
going to be
Yeah.
it. Yeah. To be fair, if we weren't so task oriented with Raft, that's totally what I expected Raft to be. Like 100%.
Oh,
But like
yeah.
we got in it
Craft.
and that competitive nature of mine kicked in, my OCD and ADHD fired on all cylinders, and I was like task. And I was like, wait, aren't we supposed to be idiots that just talk about nonsense while we try to figure out how we fucked up everything else?
Oh, we can be that too. Don't worry.
Yeah, we can
I mean,
absolutely
that'll probably
be
be
that.
us next
Yeah.
week.
Well, here's the thing. It's so much easier to do stuff like that in Subnautica because we're not together playing the game. We're going to be like, we'll be playing the game,
We're gonna be acting as if
single
we're
players?
all on the same map, but we aren't.
but we aren't.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the whole joke. It's like, oh, we're all in like the same area. And it's like, how do I keep missing you? You know, it's like that kind of vibe.
It's like, oh man,
Yeah.
I just passed this giant these weird tree things. I'm in that area too. Where the fuck are you? I don't know, man.
Dude,
I
if
don't
you
know, man,
saw
like,
if
Breathing
you
is
saw all the
corner,
I have no
mushrooms
idea.
that I'm sitting here looking at, man.
Everything
Oh.
looks
I tried
juicy.
eating one of these tree shroom things.
Dude, I'm
It's
telling you,
Yeah.
no, there's a reason why people do shrooms. Realistically, shrooms 100% do affect brain chemistry.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good effective treatment for like PTSD and stuff. From what
Yeah,
I
they're
heard.
good. They're good psychedelics. They're good for
like
those
good
things.
yeah, good
Yeah,
for
it's just
fighting
things he's
against
heard from
traumatic
people.
shit.
He hasn't tested himself. Why
Yeah.
are you asking?
Yeah.
For a friend, you know.
What are you talking about? No, I'm not afraid of my past. Guys, there's a lovely Robin Williams quote that I like to use because it kind of describes my adolescence. Back then I was on everything but skates.
Yeah. So you're
Yeah.
you're on skateboards.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Wow.
I've had-
Radical.
Rolling
I've had
around
shrooms.
at the
Now,
speed of
considering, please keep in mind, these were 90s shrooms, not the same thing now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm assuming are they stronger or weaker than before? I'm assuming stronger.
There was less research on them. We'll note that.
Oh,
Um, yeah.
speed.
Also,
I just heard that like varying experiences are had with that. So like you can have a really bad experience or you can have a really good experience.
well,
I'm like,
shrooms can be laced with a lot more stuff now. Back
that's
then,
the thing.
shrooms were
and it's like,
shrooms. Back then, shrooms were
It
shrooms.
can be
Yeah.
cultivated.
Were they
to-
just
for
the
more
mushrooms themselves?
so-
Like I know nothing about
I have
hallucinogens.
some friends who were
Yeah,
all like,
same.
"Yeah, we can help you try some shrooms," and they haven't done it yet.
my dude, I kind of want this to happen because I'm gonna have to have my brother take me there or whatever. I know this is not
Yeah.
all right. So here's my thing. I know I have not really gotten into edibles, right? Because
Yeah.
by the time edibles became like a thing, I had already stopped.
Yes.
Not like full stop, but I'd more or less cut that stuff out of my life.
You're in the process of removing it.
But
What?
I am very well aware of the medical benefits of such things, even if my state is not.
I see.
But my question is this. Do you actually have to chew gummies, or can you let them just sit in your mouth and melt?
I mean, either one's probably fine. It's gonna get soft and they can swallow it anyway. So.
Cause I'm thinking, like, if I get my wisdom
Are you
teeth
talking
pulled,
about like, are
maybe
you
I'll just
supposed to?
maybe when I get my wisdom teeth pulled, I'll just take a gummy and just like have a
Yeah,
great
because I
nap.
mean, you could probably just let it soften and then just swallow it. It's probably no
Yeah,
big
yeah.
deal.
Okay.
You just gotta be careful because like when your mouth is
gauze.
recovering, you don't want to have a whole lot of the gauze too, but you don't want to have a whole lot of sugar in your mouth that like gets all over
Oh
your mouth.
yeah.
'Cause, you know what I mean?
No, I
You
got you.
don't want to risk anything, getting cavities or making your teeth ache worse. Because bacteria
I'm
loves
also
sugar and all that shit.
how do I do mouth cleaning that entire time? Like, what is
So when I had
what is
that,
the situation with like brushing
you just
or
change out your gauze.
mouthwash?
I
I
mean,
would
you
say
want to
use
do.
the.
Go ahead.
I think there's like the soft bristle toothbrushes you want to use, like the ones that say gum
Yeah, you
on
can still
them.
brush your teeth. You just gotta be gentle on it. So like,
Well,
I used an electric toothbrush
I've got an
when I was
electric
younger. So
toothbrush. I've got an electric toothbrush. And
yeah, just be
if
gentle.
you apply too much pressure, it will stop spinning. So you have to kind of gently go
Yeah.
over your teeth with it.
Exactly. So
So,
just
yeah.
I don't
just
know
go
if I would
gentle.
even use
Just
an
do the same
electric.
thing that you do, and then when you want to floss like general too. What I would recommend is getting like those little like handheld flosser things. Those are really
Mhm.
nice. So you could use that and just go gently on your teeth because you just want to make sure that they're taken care of. You could probably do a little bit of mouthwash if you wanted to as well, but just be gentle as well because, like I said, your gums are gonna have they're gonna feel kind of weird. They're not gonna feel bad. It's just gonna be like okay, they're gonna be tender. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
Especially
So
in
there
the
will
back
be
where the
there
wisdom
will be
teeth are.
some there will be some discomfort level pain.
Yeah, it won't
not like
be
burning, searing pain. Okay,
pain.
gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
you won't
No,
have
you'll
that.
feel it.
Yeah,
Your
it's not
body
like
will
what
tell
you
you
felt
real
after that
quick
one
when you're
time with
putting
that
too
one
much.
lady. Yeah, it's not like that.
Yeah. Excuse me.
All right. First off, I am proud to say that even though my past decisions and my inhibitions as a teenager probably should have gotten me a few, I have never gotten an STD.
Woo!
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Awesome.
Congrats.
Congratulations. I'm not
That's
clapping.
always a relief.
You're
Oh.
fapping? Yeah.
I see.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah. You're not clapping, but your cheeks are. But no. So yeah, there's like a bunch of other stuff. Like it's really funny because like for certain things, I now have to get like tests done for
Mhm.
like STDs and stuff, and I need to get like the paperwork for that to be like, yeah, I'm clean here, proof. But
I'm
like,
clean.
but it's like they're like, are you sexually active? And I'm like, I'm trying to be, but I mean,
You
I
asking?
want to be, man. I
But-
promise.
I'm
Who's
trying
asking?
to be. I'm trying to be, but it's kind of a little
Who's
difficult.
offering?
Look,
It's
so
kind
the
of-
answer's
it's
no,
ki-
but it's not for a lack of trying.
It's the answer is no, and it's mostly because I'm fighting the fact that I'm slowly turning into a hermit. You know,
I mean, that's okay. I am.
Yeah.
I am too.
like, dude, they're like, oh, you should go outside. I'm like, why? All the shit,
It's-
all the cool shit that I spent a lot of money on is in my house. I'm
yeah,
gonna stay
I
in
mean,
my
it's
house.
also. I
Look,
don't know,
I'll
it's
go
kinda hard to
outside
meet
when there's
people.
a sure thing out there. For right now, there's just
look,
the sun,
look,
people,
Yeah.
and fear.
Well, it's just kind of hard because it's
Look,
like
There's just
meeting
people
somebody who's
who are
also-
no damn good. There's the burning orb of death in the sky.
yeah. It's just really hard because, like, I don't know. I keep telling people because some people are
And-
like, "Oh, well, why don't you
and-
try da da da?"
And we are officially in spring, so pollen.
Spring.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
Look, if
That's
I
a
wanted to
bitch.
have, never mind,
I love the
reproductive
pointy-
materials
pointy
all over
names,
my
yeah.
face, I'm not going to do it with trees and
Excuse me. Hold
Yeah.
on. Are you saying you're asking for a protein shake?
I'm definitely asking
I mean, you
for
have to
some.
shake to get that.
Yeah,
protein,
there you go. I had to put that in there, you know, because you gotta shake it a little to get the
Good
protein.
night,
out.
everybody.
Good
Good night, everybody.
Call it a shake and bake for some reason.
Yeah. And I helped.
Good night, everybody.
It's
What up,
shake and
what
bake,
up,
and I
boy?
helped. Last but not least, I do have an announcement that's gonna make Moon really, really happy. I haven't told him this, and I just figure, fuck it, I'll do it live in front of like 5 people.
A live studio.
He's proposing.
Whoa.
You're right. I'm proposing an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
So if you guys have not noticed, 2 roles in the production server had a slight change. They are now listed. It is now listed as head of VTuber and talent relations.
Oh wow, cool.
Because we're going to be reaching
the hell
out
of
to
a
some
title.
people who are not VTubers, but are very, very funny people.
Yeah.
I asked Fenris to reach out to Neebs Gaming.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I was like,
Jeez.
dude, they could talk about whatever. There are
We
a
will
bunch
make
of
it
different
fit.
situations in solo leveling where we could just put them in there as background dialogue for scenes. Here's the thing. We could just
Dude,
hide it
we
in
could
there.
have them. We could have them be guys 1 and 2 that talk about the aftermath of Sue and Hannah.
Yeah, Sue and Hana. Yeah. Like,
Jeez.
dude, they could just be that would be the funniest thing is like we have them in the background and like they're always commenting on certain events.
Oh yeah.
Dude, the amount of people that we've seen looking at their cell phones during the
Ouch.
during the Jeju Island raid. Oh yeah, we could absolutely have I'm already looking at a lot of the comments for episodes where they're complaining about like certain things or pointing out certain things, and I'm like, that's an entire monologue right there that we could just have. Now, at first, I want them to improv. However, I do have certain things that I'd like if they could jump into. Also, I'm watching them play Raft right now.
Raft.
Yeah.
You think they're going to beat it
caught up-
faster or slower than we did?
I
Probably
got
faster.
No, because they're still on season 2. Okay, so it takes
Hey.
them all the way to Golf Ball Island, and it took them 16 videos to get done with Golf Ball Island.
Jesus.
Oh, so they were really taking their time with it.
Yeah, because at the point in time that they were playing, Golf Ball Island was the last thing that had been released at that point.
Oh,
Yeah, they
okay.
had not fully released all the rest of the content yet.
Fair.
Understandable. Have a
They
great
get
day.
to fight the hammerhead shark, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm also watching them play. You're talking about silly fun build crafting. I would like to revisit Sons of the Forest soon. I am watching them play Sons of the Forest. It's fucking hilarious.
Fair
So
enough.
yeah, I got caught up on that, and then I saw that they played Raft, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta watch that. It's really funny. But yeah, Sons of the Forest is good. It's fun. It's
Son to the
it's-
Sons.
it's a thing. You ever played The Forest? Did you ever
Nope.
did
Okay.
you ever see it or anything like that? Yeah.
No. Sons of the
You know, I
Sons.
played it. I played it with you.
No, I know you have it. I was specifically talking about
These
Sure.
two, I know, but I'm just specifically talking about me.
oh,
Sons
you're
of the
just
Sons.
specifically being a smartass.
Yes.
Wee.
Yeah. Anyway.
Listen,
Oh,
I
sure,
like
sure,
everyone
sure.
to know that my ass has a slightly above average intelligence compared to other asses, okay?
Intelligence.
Slightly above average intelligence. Highly above
Compared
average.
to other asses.
Have
specifically.
highly above average fur capacity.
Actually, no.
Small in size, but big on taste.
It's a burst of flavor.
That is the
all
perfect time to
condensed.
use that.
That ass has
God.
wrinkles, is what Mood is saying. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Wrinkles.
It's supposed to have
Wrinkles.
your ass is only supposed to look like it has one crack. My God,
Okay, listen.
It does,
Some-
sort
Say
of.
no to
Some-
crack. Anyway,
I guess that's true. Some stretch
mean,
marks can be kind of
Could call the
Alright.
creases around the leg bits cracks, I guess.
oh my goodness,
around
Okay.
the leg bits.
around the leg
The
bits.
leg bits.
The leg
Oh,
bits. Okay,
leg bits.
quick Fat Dog updates. Toradora Abridged episode 4 is out right now. Please, please go watch it. Show it love. Give us a like. Give it a comment.
Yeah.
Give it a rating. Help us fight that algorithm. We need your help in the ever-increasing war against the algorithm. And on that note, Solo Leveling Episode 2 has entered the video editing phase. What?
That means it
Hooray.
should hopefully be out without giving a definite estimation sometime hopefully next month or the month after.
No, it's not going to be that quick. There's way too much shit to do besides just the episode. We have to actually record the opening.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. We have to actually get the opening put together and record it, our opening song, because we're doing that all in house.
Oh,
In the
shit.
house?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And we have to have like two versions. We have to have like a quick version for the actual opening, and then we have to do a they'll hound us if we don't release a full version. So
course.
I've got to get with people and like it's time. I'm like, hey, this is coming together. We can't wait any longer.
Time is time and time.
The time is happening.
Mhm.
The time is now. Yes. Also, we have continued writing for episode 3 of Solo Leveling.
We got
started
3
up.
sentences out there.
Well, it was a little more than 3, but yeah, we got some stuff done. We got some stuff
4.
done.
Why not?
We got started and then we subsequently got sidetracked, but we're fresh for next week, we promise.
We really are. We really are. Also, the Haikyuu review, the review that Moon and I did for season 1.
Season
which
1
was
of
just,
Haikyuu.
Yeah, me asking questions and him kind of going in and like sharing
Riffing,
some
talking, you know.
experiences. But we kept it pretty just Haikyuu oriented throughout the most things. That is coming out tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. I need it to be up on the channel so that people on YouTube can see it and fucking know, hey, he's watching this live on Twitch Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. Please come by. He'll be there for a while. Come by, hang out, chat about the episodes. Let's have a conversation.
Yes.
Be an active chat so we can enjoy these things. And then
Tell me something good.
and then also we're gonna sit down afterwards and dissect what you watched, which is why I think it's good to just keep it at like 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Because that's like
12
that's
to
like
13.
yeah. That's
Depends.
that's like depending on how it goes, it's probably like a little around 5 hours because it's not a full 30 minutes each one. So it's like it's probably around like maybe 5 hours of stuff. If that, it could be less. For 12 episodes, especially with Haikyuu, you go through it fast. Those things go fast. And once, like, if we're skipping the opening, the ending, the closing,
Yeah, I give them like the
next
good old
episode.
college try, and I'll only watch it again if I really like the song. That's it.
I think you're gonna like.
The
I think you're
song.
gonna like the song that they used for season 2. Yeah, it's really good.
We'll see.
Also, the Haikyuu episodes
Oh,
go
I've been hearing it
fast.
too. Yeah, it's great.
They
It's
go
crazy.
very, very fast. That being
Yeah.
said, yes, we will be putting a list together of all the anime that you have watched over the course of this watch along series so far. So, because we realized, oh my God, there's even more. We realized there were
Yeah.
2 more. You'd watched Horimiya,
Yep.
and you
And
watched
My Dress Up Darling.
My Dress Up Darling. Yeah,
Okay,
I was
Joe.
about to say My Chemical Cosplay, and I'm like, nope, that's not how that
That's
goes.
not right.
Yeah. That does sound like something I'd see at a con, though. My
When
Chemical
I
Cosplay.
was a young weeb, Richie, he showed me to some anime.
No, it wasn't me. No, all right. When I was a young weeb, my weeb friends took me into a party and showed me some hentai.
Oh God.
There was magic and tentacles and demons.
And all the other things, and let's not forget isekai. Because that's also an hentai. Yeah.
Shit.
Oh man, it's so bad. That's so bad. But yeah,
It is. Oh.
it's, And like you could start that whole thing off, and then you realized that it just slowly kept building and building, and now they're making incest stuff on the internet. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh dear.
The joke is it's sister leveling. We're talking about sister leveling.
Oh dear.
All right. But we've
Oh,
wasted enough
shit.
time. Let's go ahead and get back into the swing of things with Mushoku Tensei. If
hmm
I'm remembering correctly, yeah, we are 50% of the way through. We're 127 pages into the book of the 258 pages that are around. Oh, also, in light novel news, for those of you who are fans of it, and I think this is on the list, Moon. I think this is on the list. So if we do watch it, the newest volume has come out. How a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom.
Okay.
That sounds
Like,
interesting.
okay, so here's the thing. It is literally an isekai about a guy who doesn't have any fighting ability or special power, and he literally builds a kingdom back up from scratch through being a civil servant.
That's pretty cool.
Civil, because he's a civil servant for the Japanese government, and then like he comes in here, he gets made king, and it's like, oh shit, I have to rebuild this whole. So he starts just like step by step, rebuilding this kingdom, making it better, all these other stuff, and like it's drastic changes for their world, but like literally he creates, I guess, bureaucracy in a monarchy sort of system. It's really interesting how it goes. But yeah, it does have some of that like fantasy-esque isekai stuff that you're used to, but it's from everyone else. He's not terribly special, and he'll be the first one to tell you that. It's really interesting how this whole thing goes down. I think you'd enjoy it. But yeah, I also need to watch what was the other series that's supposed to be kind of like that. The Genius Princess Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt. That's a light novel title if
sounds
ever I've
interesting.
heard one. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, but yeah, the newest book for Realist Hero is out. I'm in the process of reading it. I'm about halfway through. Also,
Not too bad.
to everybody that came over to the Instagram page for us over at Fat Dog and started liking all the reels that we were putting out, thank you. For those that are
I'll have to check that out.
that didn't know about it, we are also Fat Dog Studios over on Instagram. And last week I posted all the clips that I wanted to use for Solo Leveling's pilot episode, and all the clips that I wanted to use for the Konosuba one shot. And I will be posting Toradora stuff tomorrow, and then I'll be catching up on Shield, and then I'll get caught up on Log Horizon over the next course. I'm just gonna go series by series and just get everything caught up. It's gonna be a thing, and yes, Data Live is on the list. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I apologize. I may take a break, or it may not. It may slip my mind because ADHD is a bitch, and anybody that has it knows. I was supposed to put out Toradora stuff today, but I completely forgot about it. All it took was a little toothache, or rather gum pain. Like,
it always takes the wind out of your sails.
Not necessarily it takes the wind out of your sails. It's just the pain just distracts you from all the things. Like, it wasn't until right before I was going to get groceries, I was like, oh shit, we were supposed to script for episode 3 today. Fuck. Yeah.
Well,
I've been too busy dealing with tooth shit. So, yeah. Anyhow, that being said, Moon, please get us started back up. I don't remember specifically where we were, so we'll just start at the top of the page. I knew
Yeah.
I was being half-assed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shim caught me up with where we're at.
Oh,
Yes.
Thank you.
There were no notable requests that day. The snow had picked up immediately after I entered the guild, and during blizzards, parties who weren't interested in low-paying work generally took the day off. Of course, there were also quite a few adventurers who were hunting for money and set out to do unranked quests by themselves. Unranked quests included things like shoveling snow or clearing off people's roofs. Shoveling snow seemed like a fool's errand to me, but it had to be better than nothing. If there were no job requests, I had nothing to do. But it didn't feel right to just stew in the gloomy atmosphere of the Adventurers Guild either. I decided to try taking one of those unranked quests. Trying something new didn't exactly absolve me of Soldat's so-called half-assing, but his words certainly did instill within me a need to do something. Clearing snow off the road, clearing snow off rooftops, clearing snow off the garden of the Liege Lord's mansion, and clearing snow off the ramparts. Looking at the bulletin board, all of the missions had to do with snow. The only difference between the requests was who made it. Just thinking about heading out into the cold to move snow and dump it elsewhere was depressing. But perhaps I should just be glad that it was a way to earn money, right? Nah, the coin hardly seemed like it was worth the effort. Still, despite my reservations, I still decided to take one of the jobs. How unusual, Mr. Quagmire, for you to take a request like this. Yeah, well, it's a change of pace. A change of pace, hmm? Yes, I think that sounds wonderful. Oh, that was a female. Whoopsies. The
Could be a
female
smug female.
receptionist. Yep. The female receptionist smiled merrily and processed the request. The mission was located at what basically amounted to a snow collection center. Though it wasn't particularly large, snow from around the town was carried here to this relatively small plaza. In the middle of this park-sized plaza was an enormous furnace, and that was it. I approached the man who seemed like he was in charge and showed him the request I'd received. My name is Rudius Greyrat. A pleasure. You that famous Quagmire guy? He asked. I don't really know if I'm famous or not, I said awkwardly. Well, then hurry up and get to it. Those weren't the most helpful instructions. May I ask what kind of work I'm supposed to be doing? It's your first time, eh? This work is simple. People haul snow in here, you use that scoop over there to pack it in toward the back. Basically, you're packing the snow. We've got a route set up for accessing the magical implement, so don't pile the snow on that. Once you've got enough piled up, wait for the signal and activate that magical device over there. Even if your mana runs out, the snow will keep coming. So don't just leave, you can keep helping us organize it. All right, got it. I still wasn't quite sure what kind of job this was, but I knew what I was supposed to do. So there was no use point in thinking too hard. I just had to do it. I was given a shovel by another staff member. Just as instructed, I began to transfer the haphazard piles of snow to the back of the plaza. Things would work better if people just dumped it here to begin with, I thought. Then again, there was the magical device in the center. Considering the problems that would arise if someone accidentally broke it or buried it in snow, maybe this was the best route after all. Such were my absent-minded thoughts as I worked. I exchanged a few words with the other adventurers working alongside me, and we shoveled the snow together, throwing it atop a drift that was about as tall as I was. There were other men packing atop the drift as well. The wall we ultimately created was about 3 times my size. The snow was heavy, but I had my well-trained right arm Hulk and left arm Hercules. They were crying out in joy at the sudden influx of delicious lactic acid. I focused my strength in my lower back, braced my legs, and moved my arms, leaving the lifting to my muscles as I hauled the snow. This is an impressive load! Here we go! Hulk's voice boomed as my elbow muscle bulged. If we must, Hercules seemed to reply in turn as my bicep drew back. The triceps on either arm felt like they were being ripped apart. You've got some strength for a magician, one of the other workers commented. Even a magician has need for strength, I said. I've been working out. Come on, a magician doesn't need strength. My body warmed and sweat began to pour from my upper body. It actually felt pretty good moving muscles I didn't ordinarily use. Maybe I'd made the right decision taking this mission. Okay, Quagmire, go ahead and make your way to the magical device. I'll give you the signal. Roger. Per my orders, I returned the shovel and headed over to the device. Unfortunately, since it was located in the middle of our wall, you had to go around the entrance of the plaza to access it. I took one of the paths running through the plaza and began to make my way there. I could take a shortcut by using my magic to burn a path through, but when in Rome, I decided to just take the long way. There's a lot of kids here, too. Snow was still being brought over by the entrance to the plaza. There were adventurers, townspeople, and a bunch of militia members. Mixed in the number were some small children as well. Well, it is just carrying snow, I assured myself. Even kids can handle that. Their transportation methods varied. There were those who carried snow in buckets, those who carried in on their backs in barrels, those who carried it in carts, and those who hauled in snow-filled wooden boxes. They all had blank looks on their faces. I suppose it was natural that no one looked like they were having fun. Shoveling snow wasn't enjoyable for anyone. Still, the children looked a bit more enthusiastic than the adults. I wondered if it was because they really liked it, or if it was for more realistic reason, such as knowing that the more they carried, the more they'd get paid. Young boys and girls hauled their densely packed wooden buckets, their faces flushed bright red, making repeated round trips. Perhaps the heavy snowfall left the residents with nothing else to do, and that was why there were so many people here. As I watched, one girl who'd been toddling along carrying snow suddenly fell. The ground should have been soft enough to cushion her, but she clutched her foot in pain, tears welling up. I somehow found myself going over to her and crouching as I said, "What's wrong?" "Oh, it's nothing." She clamped a hand over her foot as if she were frightened. She immediately tried to stand, but her face crumpled as she staggered. "Please, let me have a look." I moved her hand and slipped her boot off. When I did, I discovered her foot was red and swollen, with blackened toes and blisters. This had to be frostbite. Just looking at it was heartrending. "Let this divine power be a satisfying nourishment, giving one who has lost their strength the strength to rise again. Healing." "Ah!" Once I pressed my hand to it and recited the incantation, her foot quickly returned to normal. The healing magic in this world sure was handy. But after I'd finished tending to the opposite foot as well, the girl turned to me with a look of despair. After I'd gone to all the trouble to heal her, too, why was she making that face? "Did I do something unnecessary?" I asked. "Uh, um, I don't have any money. I can't pay you anything." "Oh." I felt like I'd heard about lowlifes who approached the injured or sick without invitation, healed their wounds, and then demanded payment that couldn't be made. When this happened, particularly at orphanages, the orphans were then taken to be sold as slaves. "I don't really need anything," I said and stood. If I did something that reprehensible to a child, I'd never be able to face Regerd. "Hey, Quagmire, what are you doing?" When I got to my feet, the manager was looking my way, yelling. The plaza was buried in snow 3 times my height. It had been half covered when I first arrived, but it had filled up quickly since. "I'm going." I hurried over to the magical device. "Okay, Quagmire, do it." "Okay." Just as I was ordered, I put my hand on the device and began to pump mana into it. I wasn't used to magical devices like this, so I had no idea how much it needed, but I was sure the manager would let me know when it was enough. I just had to keep going until then. As I continued charging the device and confirmed it was working, I looked around. Whoa! The device was heating the area closest to it. The snow gradually melted and was absorbed into the ground. Apparently, the ground of the plaza was also a magical device, for I could see a geometric shape carved into what looked like brick beneath us. Or perhaps the whole plaza itself was part of the device. I continued to watch the snow melt as I poured in more of my mana. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. It was like watching snow thaw and fast forward, like I was witnessing spring's approach, as white gave way to spread of orange brick yellow, or orange brick below. But spring was still distant, of course. The sky was still a murky gray, and the snow continued to fall. The snow in the plaza steadily disappeared, and I could see the faces of all those gathered in the area. Ooh. A commotion broke out, along with applause. "What's this about?" I wondered. I dropped my hands and joined them in the applause. Yeah, I should have known. So this is what an A-rank magician's mana can do. The manager approached, looking somewhat impressed. Is this enough? I asked. Yeah, more than enough. I'm still not out of mana, though, so... The falling snow was rapidly painting over the orange brick once more. At this rate, it would soon pile up again. Nah, it's fine. Your mission is complete. Good work. It would really help us out if you'd come back when you're free, said the manager, signing my request form as complete. That was quick. Are you sure I don't have to pack snow anymore? After how much you melted? Yeah. Honestly, I didn't even think you'd get through 1/3 of it. Besides, I can't give you any more money than this. So that was it. By melting all the snow, I'd completed the request. That made sense. This manager was a pretty cool guy, too, considering he could have said nothing and just made me keep working. Now I was back to being bored. Not like I really wanted to shovel snow, but more like I didn't feel like I'd given it my best. Maybe I should ask for the shovel again. I didn't even care if it was just free labor. No, if that was the case, maybe it would be better to return to the guild and pick a different unranked mission. It didn't even have to be shoveling snow. I could, for instance, just do physical training or... Mr. Magician! Just as I was about to leave, a small child flagged me down, interrupting my internal debate. It was a young girl, but not the same one I had helped just a moment ago. What's your name? She asked. Rudius Greyrat, I answered, even though I had no idea why she was asking. She took off running the minute she heard my name, not even bothering to reply. What the heck? So she's just going to ask my name and run away? What a rude child. Or so I thought. But the girl ran toward a gathering of other young children. As she huddled amongst them, they seemed to confer with one another. I would hear their hushed voices from where I stood. Was my name really worth all that whispering? After a while, the group nodded and disappeared into an alleyway. As I looked on, I spotted the girl I had healed amongst them. She glanced over at me and bowed before scurrying off. It usually soured my mood when people gossiped about me, but not this time. Probably because they weren't bad-mouthing me. Perhaps something good would come from making a name for myself amongst those kids. And even if it was completely pointless, I didn't mind occasional acts of charity. I actually felt good about myself for a change. Well, let's get back to the guild, I decided. There in the early afternoon at the guild, I spotted some faces I knew. Suzanne, Timothy, and Patrice. All the members of Counter Arrow. Well, not all. If they were here at this hour, it meant they'd finished a request, so I'd probably just missed the others. They were usually the ones to approach me, but I decided I should occasionally greet them first. After all, I was in a pretty good mood today. Hello. Oh, it's Rudius. They seemed kind of gloomy. Oh, it's Rudius. They seemed kind of gloomy. Not just Suzanne, but Timothy and Patrice as well. Did something happen? I asked. Yeah, it's Mimir and Sarah. I didn't see those two around, but just because the 5 of them were a group didn't mean they had to spend all their time together. That was how I rationalized their absence, anyway. Had something happened? Did the 2 of them get married or something? I teased. So you cracked those kinds of jokes too, huh? I'm sorry. Timothy's usual smile was missing. In fact, his expression was just the opposite, all clouded over. It seemed my words had annoyed him. Was I right? Did something really happen? Do you mind if I ask about it? Timothy went silent. Instead, it was Suzanne who looked up and said, They're dead. My rare, joyful mood vanished in a second. Oh, I see, I said. I couldn't quite digest the idea that they were gone, and it wasn't like this was the first time something like this had happened to me. As adventurers, death was our constant companion. I'd heard that another party I was close to had been completely wiped out. Even so, it was depressing. Accepting their deaths wasn't the same as being unaffected by them, after all. I wasn't particularly close to either of them, nor did we know each other all that well. Still, we'd shared meals together, overcome death together. I couldn't help feeling sad to hear they'd lost their lives. But there was nothing to be done. Sooner or later, all adventurers would die. The possibility of death shadowed them as long as they continued this line of work. That was just how things were. No, Timothy said. Mimir sighed. Sarah isn't dead yet. Although I'd already accepted the fact, Timothy now claimed otherwise. His face twisted in frustration as he snapped at Suzanne and Patrice. We were just separated from her during the battle. It's not like we saw her corpse. So maybe if we just searched a little more, we could have... Give it up, Suzanne urged. You couldn't see anything in that forest, not in that blizzard. We're better off considering her dead. But I said give it up! If we'd stay there any longer to search, we would be dead too. We knew that. And that's why we obeyed your orders, Suzanne barked at Timothy, as the latter hung his head. It seemed Timothy had given the order to retreat. Now he was regretting his decision. I could understand why. Regret was inevitable once you saw where the decision led. When you were forced to abandon something important, you couldn't help but wonder if you should have bet on that sliver of hope, even if it did result in a worse fate. Timothy, you don't have to take all the blame. We could have ignored orders back then, you know? But we agreed to come back here. We're equally responsible, said Patrice. That's right, agreed Suzanne. We're with you. So don't get down on yourself. The two of them were trying to comfort Timothy, even though they were surely heartbroken themselves. Perhaps they held on to a thin sliver of hope for Sarah, but kept it to themselves because of how dangerous the search would be. They had to consider the future they still had ahead of them. If they ventured back out on impulse and were unlucky, they could lose another person, maybe two, maybe even the whole team. As I considered that, I recalled what happened in that cave we'd explored a couple months ago. Before winter began, Sarah was the first one to come to my aid. In retrospect, that had been a really dangerous move. It could have led to the entire party being wiped out, or someone's death at the very least. So, where was it that you got separated? I asked. To the west, in Trier Forest. Visibility was so poor because of the blizzard that we somehow wandered into its bounds. The moment we tried to get out, a herd of snow buffaloes attacked us. So that's what happened. That must have been rough. Trier Forest. If I remembered correctly, that was a half-day's journey away. Well, I should be going, I said, turning to take my leave. Timothy and the others said no more, and they didn't try to stop me either. I immediately left the guild and headed straight for the inn. Once inside, I darted up the stairs and rushed to my room. I kept my Arctic clothing on and merely shook off the beads of water that had collected on it. I grabbed my large backpack from the corner of my room, tossed in my remaining stores of food, and shrugged the straps over my shoulders. Then I was gone, down the stairs and out the door. Why was I doing this? I couldn't say. I knew somehow that this was sure to be a fool's errand. Regardless, I wanted to go. I wanted to see for myself if that young girl, who was always vulgar with her words and actions, always mimicking Suzanne, had really died or not. I didn't know why. Yeah, seriously, I didn't. Even so, I was traipsing out into the middle of the blinding blizzard. This storm is a real eyesore. I squinted at the sky. It was a smear of gray hiding behind a blanket of falling snow. I pointed my staff in its direction. Roxy had told me it was best not to meddle with weather, so I heeded her words as best I could. I moved the clouds by creating a tornado to disperse them. There we go. The clear blue sky shone above me as I set forth, boots crunching through the snow. Night had descended, and it was pitch black by the time I arrived at Trier Forest. Thanks to my weather manipulation, I didn't have to wade through a blizzard to get here. Inside the forest, the trees formed a dome that covered the sky. My torch barely provided enough light to see with, and the snow lay dense and high on the ground. As I moved forward, I found myself buried to the waist. It was significantly more difficult to walk than usual. I plodded forward, step by step. Occasionally, a heap of the frozen powder would come cascading off nearby trees as if trying to bury me. Hang on. It wasn't falling on its own. Something was dumping it on me. I looked up and discovered the monster behind it. A snowfall treant. In the summer, these were ordinary treants, but when winter came, snow accumulated on their branches, as their name implied. They would try to impede passing adventurers by burying them. They were a low-ranked treant, unique to this region. They mostly just dumped snow on you, but there were occasionally individuals that could use ice magic, hurling down blocks of ice large enough to flatten a human in one blow. These were a higher-ranked sort, called the Icefall treant. I had yet to encounter one. If possible, I would prefer to keep it that way. Burn in place. I used fire magic to thaw the snow falling from above. Stone cannon. Then I used my earth magic to destroy the treant. It stopped moving after my attack blasted a hole through its trunk, sending splinters flying everywhere. At this point, their attacks were merely a hindrance. In fact, the densely packed snow at my feet was a far bigger obstacle. Walking was difficult, and at times I found my feet completely swallowed by snow. When that happened, I used fire magic to melt my way through. But my Arctic gear was made of snow hedgehog's pelt. As it absorbed the water, it became heavier, so I had to use wind magic to dry it. All of this slowed my pace. Maybe in the future I should train myself to better navigate terrain like this. I silently pushed forward as I considered that option. Part of me wondered what I was even doing. There was no way I could find Sarah. The other three had searched for her immediately after she went missing and still didn't find her. Just how was I supposed to succeed where they failed? I didn't even have the sense to ask their exact location before I left. I could call out and let her know where I was, but I wasn't doing that. I told myself that monsters would be alerted to my presence if I did, but that just made me think of what Soldat had said. Half-assed. Seriously, what was I even doing? This search did nothing but appease my own ego. If this wasn't good enough, then what would satisfy me? Finding Sarah, of course. If I managed to find Sarah using my own methods, that would satisfy me. It didn't matter whether she was dead or alive. The only thing that mattered was that I took action and had something to show for it. That was it. Results. Right now, I just wanted results. Nothing else mattered. It wasn't as though I wanted desperately to save Sarah, or that I wanted to repay the kindness the members of Counter Arrow had shown me. I just wanted to accomplish something. Or maybe it was that I wanted to actively make the choice to not abandon someone else. Eris had abandoned me, and it had left me severely depressed. I didn't want to do the same to someone else. I didn't want to do the horrible thing that had been done to me. Maybe that was all it was. I didn't know. I couldn't know why it was I was here, toughing it out like this. There they are! Just as I was lost in a maze of my own thoughts, I spotted a herd of monsters ahead. A group of snow buffaloes. They huddled together amidst the sea of white. Their gray coats made for superb camouflage in a blizzard, allowing them to launch surprise attacks on unsuspecting adventurers. But right now, the sky was clear. Although they were still difficult to see while hidden among the shadows of the trees, there was no mistaking their presence. Snow buffaloes flocked together in wooded areas, forming a singular herd in each forest. They generally spent the winter in one area, birthing and rearing their young in the snow. If someone was attacked by a herd, it was usually because that person had trespassed on their territory. In other words, there was a high likelihood that this was the area where Timothy and Sarah got separated. It was also likely that her corpse was in the belly of one of those creatures. Buffalo from my previous life were herbivores, but these beasts were carnivores. I channeled my mana into both hands. It might be impossible to defeat them all at once, but a preemptive strike would thin their numbers. Earth Hedgehog! The magic I discharged from my hand struck the ground below the ground below the snow buffaloes. In an instant, a vast number of spikes burst upwards, thick as human arms, skewering and killing 10 or so. Brrr! The herd was flustered by my sudden assault and spooked by their surroundings as they began to move. Earthlance! With that spell, I killed those that remained, one after the other. It was mostly trivial work. They darted around in confusion, searching for me, but by the time they discovered my location, most were already dead. The ones who spotted me soon joined their ranks. When only a few individuals were left, the herd attempted to escape, but it was too late. I had no intention of letting a single one get away. Earthlance! I moved like a machine, continuously launching magic at them. Pretty soon, none were left alive. If they had fled a little sooner, or if the remaining beasts had grouped up, they might have had better luck. The fact that they didn't instantly flee when attacked was proof they were monsters, rather than wild animals. They fought, and only tried to run when they knew they wouldn't win. Creatures that thirsted for battle were fearsome indeed. Phew. I'd intended to be cautious, just to be sure that I didn't catch Sarah in the crossfire if she were in the vicinity. But the discretion seemed pointless. I waded over to the scattered lot of buffalo corpses. The cloying stench of blood surrounded me as I reached the center of the fallen herd. A mountain of bones lay there, remains of the prey they had devoured. Most were of four-legged animals, but there were also other snow buffalo bones among the pile. So these guys are cannibals, I noted mentally. I searched through the heap. The creatures had a habit of leaving leftovers other than bones, using the smell to lure in other beasts and animals to be a steady supply of food. Regent had done something similar. It was frightening to think the buffaloes had enough wisdom to do the same thing as the demon continent's fearsome dead end. I expected I would find the bones of those they'd eaten for lunch here. In fact, I spotted several humanoid skulls. I made another mental note of that as I shoved aside the other bones, trying to find what I was looking for. Sarah's corpse. Or at least something she'd worn on her person. If I found that, I was sure I'd be satisfied. A groan slipped from me as I fished through the bones. I'd found a human head that still had skin on it, and seen the face of someone I knew. Mimir. It was Counter Arrow's healer. Half of his head had already been eaten. His cheeks were gone, leaving behind just his forehead and part of his hair, which were somehow just enough to identify him. My breath was caught in my throat. Mimir was dead. Timothy had already said so. That's right. I forgot because they immediately moved on to talking about Sarah. It's not surprising that I found him here. We'd scarcely spoken. The only thing I remembered of him was the awkward look on his face when we were drinking at the bar after returning from the Galgao ruin, during the whole debate about whether I should have been left behind or not. I produced a folded bag from my backpack and tucked his head into it. I wanted to bring back that much of him at least. I blinked away the stinging sensation in my eyes, gritted my teeth, and continued the search. If Mir was in such a state, then perhaps Sarah was also. There was a ring, fallen deep in the pile. Not just one ring either, but an assortment of ornaments people had worn. I had never heard anything about the snow buffaloes hoarding shiny objects. These had probably accumulated as the beasts fed. Ah, it was among those other objects that I found it. A familiar decoration in the shape of a feather. It was Sarah's earring. A sigh slipped out. I felt the tension leave my body. She really was dead. After getting separated from Timothy and the others, she must have been pursued by the snow buffaloes until she ran out of stamina. And then they ate her, caught in a blizzard, filled with despair, trying desperately to stay alive, lacking the power to do so. Dreary thoughts churned in my head. True, Sarah and I weren't that close.